Hi, this is Bill Hitchcock, and I'm just going to help you get ready to do a little bit of programming. The programming environment we're going to use is something that's called Raptor. It was developed by people at the Air Force Academy out in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And what's nice about Raptor is it's a flowcharting method of doing programming. In other words, all you really need to focus on is kind of the logic of how a computer program works. You really don't get bogged down in the syntax like you would if I was going to try to teach you how to do C++ or Java or Visual Basic, one of the other, I guess, more full-blown programming languages. Certainly they have their place, but to at least get a feel for what programming is, using something like Raptor is a great little tool. So I'm going to go out to Google and just type in download Raptor and hit enter. And they've got the first link here, takes us to the Raptor homepage. So if you want to go directly to that URL, you can just go ahead and type that in. Otherwise, I think just type it in. Download Raptor does the trick, and you can go through their website a little bit, and we want to get ready to download the software. Okay, a couple things. One is, notice that there's an advertisement here. It says start now. Don't click on the green box. We don't want to do that. That ends up bringing up a whole bunch of other software that we don't need. But what we do want is the gray box, the download latest version of Raptor here. So I'll click on that, and it starts downloading this file, and it has a MSI file, a Microsoft install file. And we can go ahead and click on that, and it brings us to the Raptor setup wizard. Now, I've got whether I want to repair or remove it. That's because I've already got Raptor working on my computer, but yours, it'll probably just go ahead and start installing it. So I'll go ahead and click OK and let that run. It says Raptor's been successfully installed, so I can close this up. I'll minimize my website here, and if you don't have this on your taskbar, you can always search for Raptor, and then what I would do is I would right click on this and pin it to the taskbar. Right, mine says unpin because I've already got it pinned there, but I would go ahead and pin it to the taskbar. That way you've got it. So now I'm going to click on Raptor, and if it worked, it should pop this open for you. So there's kind of two windows that we're going to be working with. There's the programming part of it, so I can make that a little bit bigger. Hang on, let me see. There we go. Grab the corner, drag that down. And then I've also got the master console, which will show you the results of my programming. So now that I've got this set up, I'm just going to move this over a little bit. I want to click on File and New, because I want to start up with a new program. If it prompts you right away to save something, go ahead and save it. So the first time that you ever do any programming with a new language, and in this case I'm assuming that Raptor is something new to you, you want to create what's called the Hello World program. It's one of these things every single computer science student knows what it is. You just want to run some program to make sure that things are working. And now it's almost become one of those, if you don't do the Hello World program first, you have bad voodoo and bad karma and all the rest of the stuff. We don't want to mess that up. So we're going to do Hello World. So in order to do the Hello World program, we've got a start and an end to our program. We've got some different symbols or different processes that we can use in just about every single computer program. There is something called an assignment, which think of that as being a calculation, a process of some type. So we're going to have inputs, processes or assignments, outputs, and then we can a little bit fancier, we can do selections and loops. So right now all I want to do is just do an output. So I'm going to click on output, click here between start and end, double click on that box, and then it gives us enter the output here. For example, I can put in quotes exact text. Exact text is known as a string or a literal. It's whatever you put in quotes, it will literally display exactly that. Underneath it, we've got coins. Coins doesn't have the quotes around it, so therefore coins is a variable. The contents can change, they can vary. Then I've got number of coins plus coins. Here I've got a text string or a text literal that's going to be joined with or concatenated with, that's that plus sign, with the output of my variable, coins. And then finally down at the bottom we've got something else that says board33. That's a special kind of variable. It's called an array variable, and maybe one of these days we'll get into what those all are. But we want to, again, we're trying to keep things simple. Let's see if we can get something to work. So I want exact text, so I'm going to put in quote hello world with an exclamation point and a quote. That's it. So typed it in, hit done. It says please save now. Alright, I'll save it. It's asking me where do I want to save it, so I'm going to save this out there on my computer someplace. And I'll create a folder for my Raptor programs. And I'm going to call this the Hello World program. And I usually don't bother doing spaces in between my file names. I use camel case or some sort of adjustment of that where I capitalize the first letter of words. There I go, I've got it saved. So now I want to try this out. There's a play button, a pause button, a stop button, and play until you hit the very end. Alright, so I'm going to play this program. It starts it out, it does hello world, and it ends it. And over here in the master console, it's got hello world. So I want to slow that process down. So up here, I've got a slider bar, and I can drag this over to about halfway. And we're going to try to run this again. It starts hello world and ends. Alright, let's slow that down even a little bit more. Try one more time. We start the program, do hello world and end, and it runs that for me. So it does it the same way every single time. So we've got that one done. So let's save that and try to modify this a little bit. So now what I want to do is I don't want to just say hello world. I want to try it for send something to my mom, for example. So if I want to send this to mom, I'm going to save the program as something different. Instead of calling it hello world, I'll call it hello mom. And I'm going to double click in my output box and change from hello world to hello mom. Try running this program. Starts, prints hello mom, and run is complete. So over here in the master console you can now see it's doing hello mom. So that's promising. We've got 2 programs written so far. Now I want to do this for anybody. So in order to do anybody, we're going to have an input. So I'm going to drag, well, first I'll save this and we'll do hello anyone. And we'll put an input right before, whoa, I got too many there. Sorry about that. Click on that, delete it. I just need one input statement. I'm going to double click on here. So here the inputs, they look a little bit different. There's 2 boxes. We have a prompt, and then down below we've got a variable. So my prompt is whatever it is that you want the computer screen, the master console, to say. So we'll say something like this, quote, hello, my name is Hal. What's your name? And then we want them to type in their name. So we need a variable. I could call it name, which probably would be just fine. But the only thing is, whenever you use variable names, usually you want to have at least 2-word names, because there's something in variables that they're called reserved words. And in certain words, like the word help, run, input, output, those are all reserved to the system, and you wouldn't want somebody accidentally doing that. So they're examples. Coins, I'd be tempted to say something like user coins or num coins, something like that instead of just the word coins. So we're going to change this variable here. Instead of name, we're going to call it your name. And the uppercase, lowercase is kind of ignored by Raptor, but that's all right. We'll just type it in like that. So we'll hit done. And then for my output, instead of saying hello mom, I want to put in quotes, hello, a space, quote, and then I'm going to type in a plus sign, which is a concatenation. It's not adding this stuff together, it's joining the two things together. So I want to say hello, your name. And as I'm typing that in, notice down here it gives me my variable names that I can use just to help you remind you what that is. So I'll hit done. Let's save this. Let's run it. It starts out. It displays on an input screen, hello, my name is Hal, what's your name? And I'll say that it's Bill. And it says hello Bill. So that worked pretty well. Alright, well, let's get a little bit fancier with our programs here. Let's save this one. And I'm going to save it as hello anyone number 2. A little bit fancier one. So this time we're going to do the same thing that we did before. Hello, what's your name? I type in Bill. If I can type my name, hit OK. It says hello Bill. Then we want it to make some sort of decision. So I'm going to put in here for a selection. And with my selection, we can make a test in our program. So for example, if they enter the name Bill, we might say, well, that's a nice name. But if they don't type in Bill, we might give them some other message. All right, so we're going to put an output here. And in my decision, we're going to say if your name, so I don't have to actually type in the word if, I just put in the condition, your name equals, quote, Bill. If that's true, we're going to say, why, that's my favorite name, other than Hal, of course. But if it's not Bill, then we're going to put something else and just say, I really don't care for that name, but I guess it will do. So let's save this. Let's run it. Test things out. Hi, my name's Hal. What's your name? We type in Bill. Hello, Bill. Why, that's my favorite name, other than Hal, of course. That worked. So now I want to test it with something else. Hi, my name's Hal. What's your name? And we'll type in Mike. And we find out that don't really care for that name, but I guess it'll do. And that works. So, easy enough to do some selections like this. So let's put in one more selection. And now I want to take this one, and in this case I want to say if your name equals Dave. And if that's true, I want to do something else. But if it's not, I'm going to take our other message and do the, I don't really care for that name. So if the name is Dave, we're going to say something like, hi Dave. I hope you aren't planning anything today. And we've got our program. So let's save this, try running it, and we need to test out all these different things. So first we want to make sure, is Bill still working? That one seemed to work. Let's run it again. Let's try Steve. And we find out it's not Bill, it's not Dave. I don't really care for that name, but I guess it'll do. And finally we try Dave. It's not Bill, it is Dave. And we say, hi Dave, I hope you're not planning anything today. So if you want to take a break now, go watch 2001 A Space Odyssey and figure out about Hal and Dave. You can do that, but hopefully this will give you a little bit of lead in about doing some things with Raptor.